Hi all, so welcome to another day on this JMeter trend, and we are continuing down with this topic. We have reached uh, till this point. We listed a error and we have done till then. And it's very good. Okay. So we finalized or we discussed this point, and then this were also discussed, and then we left at this. So that was also done. So word for this number systems changes. Okay, fine. Let it be. I'll change that something in future. Okay, so after that, what is the parameterizing? So this was also covered. Now this one, parameterizing of the protocol URL port, test data, file name path, users, RAM port, all this using simple way or using key function, right? Generally, we do that using key function and then verify that whether everything is working fine or not. So, mm, okay. Now, what is this, right? What is this uh, parameterization and why we do that? Okay. So, first we will understand. No? So, uh, see, what is this parameterization and why we do that, right? And generally, there are two ways to do. First, we will do that using simple way, then we will do that using key function. And doing that using key function is the best practice. Right? Now, what is that, right? So, see, we have to understand that in our script, let us say that currently we are working on a URL. So currently, the URL that we are working is this, right? Now, what happens in real time in any project? There is environment is the environment concept, okay, environment, right? So now, what is the meaning of environment? So, meaning of environment is that the application on which, or you can say the project. Project means the application on which we will be working, right? So that application will be having multiple copies, right? Now, what is meaning of this? Just understand in simple way. You might have heard of cars, right? Cars getting launched, right? New cars getting launched. So you might have also seen that they get tested, right? Before getting launched, they get tested on the road, and people used to see them, right? But they're camouflage. Camouflage means their whole body will be hidden, right? Okay, so and after testing only, it is available uh, to all the users, correct? After some changes. So, so you might see like this, right, camouflage. Okay, you have everyone might have seen this or somewhere in the news, like pop-ups like, okay, this new vehicle is coming, and then it will be on road in camouflage form, right? Camouflage. So what happens is like suppose 10 cars will be there, and it will be given to 10 different teams, and they will be running it on the road, right? And then testing it, because the main thing of car is on the road only, right? You have developed that in your warehouse, but we have to use it, right? The use, when we use it, that is where performance comes. So on website also it's same way, right? uh, Developing is not the main thing, unless anyone can develop a website, but main thing comes where the users comes and you have to make the product scalable, that many users are using it, and the product uh, does the performance, right? So that is the usage, right? That is where this usage comes in picture, and when it is getting used, that is the real time thing, right? That is what the performance is stuff. So same way, suppose a car is developed, so developing is not main thing. It has to work on road, because it has to design on to run on the road one, right? It is not designed to sit in the showroom. Okay, so that is the thing. Now, okay, so what will happen? Suppose 10 cars that will be commercial and will be given to testing different teams. They will be testing it, and then they will come with some output, and those changes will be done, and then maybe one more round of testing will be done, and then final version will be launched, right? So same way, what happens whenever we are working on a website, a product or a project, right? Project means application, right? Application. So that application will be having multiple copies, okay? Multiple copies for different teams, right? Copies for different teams. So who are those teams? So there will be development team. So, and these copies are called as technical term environment, right? So development team. So for them, it will be dev environment. Testing team will be there, so test environment. Then UAT one environment is there. Then pre-production. Okay. Then production is the real production environment, pre-prod environment. Real means the main environment for the general user, that is production. Pre-prod, UAT, like this. Okay. So what? So the actually these are for different teams. So development team will be having their own copy of that same project. Testing team, functional testing team will be having their own copy. Then there is a UAT environment, pre-prod, production, all this, right? So that is not multiple copy of the same application, right? Now, why that is there? So that it's same way like the example of car. Different team can test their different stuff, right? And no other team uh, hamper the work. Okay, so it's like that. So this thing, so that copies are called environment. Now, same way, when you are doing performance testing, you will be having also performance testing environment, PST environment. Okay, you will not be running performance test in dev environment or test environment or UAT environment. No, a small user test you can always do in test environment or dev environment or UAT environment. A small user, let us say 150, like that, or 10 users. But when you want to do a real performance testing kind of thing, then you have to get a dedicated performance testing environment also. Right? Suppose more than 100 user you want to do. So that time, so you will be performance team will be having their own. So you see multiple copies will. So in that multiple copies, what happens? Application will remain same, functionality will remain same. URL will be different. URL will be different because same URL how it can be there, right? So URL will be different. The main URL of the application will be for the main user. Okay, and this all team will be having a different URL. Now, what happens that suppose you get assigned to a project, so first thing is to prepare the script. So what happens many times, script is getting people can prepare the script on dev environment also or testing environment also. Using that, you can prepare the script, right? Because script preparation is nothing. You have to just run, uh, record the scenario and do this all stuff. Now, when it comes to running, so as I said, a small run, 10 user, 50 or 100, you can do in this environment. But when we want to have a real performance testing, then we have to get to that in dedicated, a separate environment, PST environment. Okay. Now that is the point where suppose you have prepared the script in dev or in test. So you will be having that particular URL captured in the script, right? Correct? Of let us say test environment, test environment. Now you have to run in a PST environment, or you have to run the test in UAT environment. So they will be having different URL. That time you have to change. Okay. So changing is fine. You can do the change using Control F and uh, 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 replace this URL with the another URL. But that is not a good approach. Search and replace. Better, we can create a variable, okay, any variable, a variable, and in that we can store that value. And all this value we should replace with this variable in parameterized form, right? Dollar flower basis variable. And just from one place, we can keep on changing that and the URLs. Okay. And in that way, you can run on any environment. Suppose you have to run on dev, UAT, testing, performance, like pre-prod. Correct. So that is why we have to do the parameterization for this protocol URL and port. Some application have port. Nowadays, applications are not having port number, so this can be ignored. But yeah, this we can always parameter. Now, how to do that? And so this part, hope it is clear. Hopefully. And I hope I believe this part is clear. What is environment and why we change that? Now, next we will be how to do that. So to do that, we will be using an element called user-defined variable. It's a config element. Config element means the cookie manager, the CSV. These are all config elements. Right? So same way user-defined variable is also. Now, where to add it? So that is important. So we have, I'm minimizing all this. So we have to add that at test plan level. Means close this, make one more, so that it looks little more bigger. Yeah. So okay, so this is the now. So right click on test plan. Test plan. Remember, right click on test plan. Go to add or to configure, and you see a CSV cookie and all those are there. We will be having a user defined variable here. See here, click on. So when you click that on that, it will be added, and it will be added on last. It's not a problem, but to have a sequential uh, pattern, we can move it and put it here above thread group. Okay. So simply drag and drop it. So this is done, right? Now next is so here we have to, it's very simple. If you see, we have just uh, this is the name of that element. Here we have to give the variable name where you have to put the value. And if you want, you can write some description. This is not mandatory. So let us click on add. So I've added one line has been added. Now a variable name. So first variable is like what this value is. So we can create a variable called property. Check variable, and this is the value. We can put it here, and then replacing. So control F is the value, put it here. Replace this with this variable in parameterize. So that we know and replace. So wherever that will be there, everywhere you see will be replaced. Right? Same way we'll do for URL. So let us say another variable for URL, and this is the value that we will put it here. Then replace control F. So this with this variable, test it here. So in parameterized form, right? Dollar flower braces variable and flower braces replace. Flower braces or curly middle braces or curly braces. So wherever that URL is there, it got replaced. So now in this way, again, what will happen? As I said, you have to just change that URL here only, right? Whatever the protocol, whether it is HTTP or HTTP, right? Or HTTPS. Generally, we will be having two. Nowadays, all are HTTPS. But yes, so that you can change here, and the main URL you can change here, right? So one place will change, and automatically it will get affected. So that is the beauty. Okay. Now, last one for port. See, a port is not mandatory in many applications. So here a port number is captured, but generally this is the default 443 port. If you see in our JavaScript application, there is no such port in the URL. So what happens? JMeter by default captures a port called 443. So either you can parameterize this or you can leave it. Yeah, or better to do that. And sometimes what happens? Some application can have port in the URL, port number. Okay, port number will be something 8080. Okay, or some 9090, like that. A number will be there in the whole application URL. But this nowadays that is also not there. Earlier this used to happen. Now since everything is going on cloud, so this concept of having port number in the application URL is gone. So so in that case, you will either see this as a blank. Okay, when you record, it will be blank. If it is blank, so no need to worry. or if you see some port, or let us say if it is 443 only, the default one, you can do a parameterization for that also. So hope that confusion values for now refresh. Refresh 443. So we got it. So that is the beauty. So now in this way, if you see, uh, any suppose you have prepared your script on dev environment or test environment. So this will be URL. Now, right now, next you want to run your script in PST performance test environment. So the application URL, whatever that you can update and it will reflect. So in one place. So that is the now next thing is important thing we have to understand that why we use this, right? Because we could have created test data also, test data file. We could have passed it from test data file, because we have seen that some value we pass from test data directly parameterized. Right. Okay. Like this. So why uh, not passing these values for this variable from test data? And we can create these variables here or a separate test data file, and we can pass this value from there, right? So that also can be done. Okay. It's not like that it cannot be done. That also can be done. But why we do like this? There is an important thing to understand. See, this is a fixed stuff. Okay, because if you here the value that we are passing from here, right, or these countries, this is many, right? These are many. So some user will be picking this, some user will be picking this. So that difference, right? So that is multiple values, and this will be going as a user input, pure user input, right? Pure user input in the application. So at that time we prepare the test data. So we pass different value for different users. But here, this is not a user input, correct? It has nothing to do with the user putting this value. This is related to testing parameters. Plus, this is a fixed stuff. Whether you are running for one user or whether you are running for 1,000 users, this thing is going to be same, right? Okay. We are not going to give multiple URLs for different users. That is not the case. So that is the reason we do not prepare test data for this fixed stuff. Actually, these are fixed stuff. This needs to be changed just one time for every user. So that is the reason we use this element. So when we can use this element and how where this we create these variables when this variable value is common for all the users, right? So that time we can uh, we use this element and do like this. Okay, and we do not prefer test data for this because this is a fixed system for all the user, and this concept is here for all the user. Different value we want to pass. So this whole thing is different, right? Whole core concept is different. Okay. Next is parameterizing the uh, protocol URL port done. Then test data file name or form. So this also it is suggested to parameterize instead of in, this as fixed here. We can keep, but suggested is that you create a variable and pass them uh, pass this value here and put that variable here. Okay. So that suppose you want to change that file or name or something, you can change from here without coming and changing here, right? So there is more beauty in that. Yeah. So we will do that also. Just I'll just see how I've given earlier because there are some good practices which we should follow. So sometimes I forget because we are not practicing everything. So I refer to my previous script. Because this script I have prepared with all the structures, but that sometimes that is not in the mind, right? So something I can miss out. Yeah, so here it's okay, I have given like this test data one underscore user. Yes. This all will come slowly. Do not, and do not worry why I have given P. So in the last we will all be giving us P1 because here I have written also. See? So now we are parameterizing simple, but after a few sessions we'll be changing it to P. When we will be doing and best practices with P only. Okay. Here I have written also. But when we do that, why to do that? That we have to understand, right? So that time, uh, uh, that time I'll change it. For now, we are doing simple way. This is one of the way. And, just company, you just have this, just print it. And this is first value. And we can replace this control C, replace this in parameters form like this. And, control control. Okay. Parameters. Dollar flower basis variable name. Flower basis close. Here also we can see. So we will be coming. Whole script will be prepared like this. Slowly we are going there. Fine. So that is uh, okay. Protocol URL port and text data file. This is variable name and these are the main files. So now no need to worry about here, right? If any change you want to do, all thing we can do here. That is the main purpose. That whatever changes we have to do in the script, instead of going there in the script, we are putting it on one place and we'll be changing from there one. And that is more useful, right? More handy. Plus, there is uh, there is more important understanding why we do like this. So that we will understand when uh, we will discuss this topic. So that time we will be more sure that why we do like this. There is one more major reason to do this. Okay, so we'll understand them. Fine. So this is done. Next is same we have to do for the users, ramp up, loop count, if needed, duration and delay. Okay. So before we do parameterization for all this, let us understand these keywords because understanding these keywords is important. For users, ramp up, ramp down, arrival confirmation, and ramp down the on duration. Yeah. So what are these keywords? Right, these keywords. And these all are attributes of thread. You see in this also. So what are they? Uh, and I believe, yeah. So these all are this is this side the element name and this side its attribute or setting or feature, whatever you see, or parameter, right? So you can give it any name, uh, like attribute, parameter, features, attribute, settings, parameter, feature, anything you can call them, okay, or settings. So do not get right now. Uh, so this one I have explained yesterday. Now next comes here. So these are the main thing which helps in running the test, and that is what we have to understand. So first thing is number of user thread, right? Say thread, we have thread means the user. So here you can see. So how many user you want to run? That we give that value. So it's very simple in nature, right? Uh, okay, so it can be uh, anything. One user, two user, 100 user, 1,000 user. That is so that is understood. Now next thing is ramp up. Ramp up and ramp down, I'll discuss later on. First, let us finish this loop count or iteration and this system. And then we will come back. So loop count. Loop count also, I have explained few session back, but again, I'll explain it. Loop count or iteration is same thing. Okay. Loop or iteration. In load runner, it is called iteration. Okay. If anyone knows a load runner tool, so there it is called iteration, and here they refer it as a loop. So it's same. Now, what is the meaning of iteration and loop? See, from start of the first transaction to end of the first transaction, this whole thing is called one loop. Okay, one loop or one iteration. Iteration, right? So, hope my volume was good, right? Okay. So suppose if we give here 10 users, okay. Suppose suppose I'm running with one user. So if I run this, they will see uh, something, one error. I think it's related to test data. Not so this is the like suppose I ran here and nothing happened. So we have to directly think that there is some issue with uh, test data. Okay. Yes. What's the step one? Here also it's same. Step one. Same. Oh, okay, okay. That's one. This is not given correctly. Variable name is, I've given the file name like this in parameter. It should be variable name to control A, control C, control. Now it's okay. So now coming to the iteration. So here if you see, I have given one user and one loop. So it means that this first user or only one user is there. You can see here it shows how many numbers are running, number of users are running. So user will start from here and it will finish the last. So this is called one iteration on one loop. You can see, right? Same way if I run for 10 users, so the behavior will same 10 users and one loop or one iteration. It means that all 10 users all 10 users, right? All 10 users will start from homepage launch and they will finish till sign out, right? Completing one iteration, and we can see here also. Uh, so it will be showing 10 times here for every transaction. So it's running. Here also you can see 10 users running that. So you will see all transaction getting executed 10 times because 10 users are running, right? 10 users running all from start to end, one iteration. So 10 times. So if you understand, right, what is the meaning of it. Now, what happens? There is a many times there is a requirement that we we have to run for multiple loops or multiple iterations. Okay. So suppose the test can be like one user, five iteration or five loop, or suppose 1,000 users doing five iteration. Okay, iteration, or it is also called as loop sync or five. So it means that here you can give 1,000 users, right? And here you will give five. So what it means? It means that this whole thing will be repeated five times. Okay, five times means all 1,000 users will start from here. They will finish till sign out, and then again they will repeat. Like that, they will repeat one time, two time, three time, four time, and five time. Right. So from beginning to start, beginning of the transaction to the end of the uh, 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 end transaction, right? From beginning transaction or a start transaction of that scenario to end transaction of that scenario, they will complete it five times. So that is called looping or iteration, right? But so the same 10 users, and if I do here two, I can see a two. So now what will happen is this here we can see this whole thing you will see getting repeated 20 times. Why? Because 10 users are there. User are how much? 10, right? 10. So 10 users running this from year to year. So one time it will be there. Each user one time. So 10 user 10 times, right? So each transaction it will be 10. And again, all 10 will be repeating them. So into 2, right? So here you will see 20 times, correct? See, some users are stuck uh, in here, here, my order page. User has been stuck. Stuck means it is taking time. It is taking time for the J2EE user actually. Okay? Because there is so much order for that account, right? That's why it is taking that much time. Stop. I'll not run use them. I'll just use one user. This is not correct way, but just for understanding, generally, if you are running 10 user, you should have 10 user. But for practice purpose, right, we can from where you will bring that 10 user or 15 user. We should understand that. So just one user I'm using. You can use 5 user, 10 user, but you have to register them, right? So that is one extra work. So for now, understand here 10 user are there. But but in real time, if I'm using this, so same 10 users have used this credential. But again, I'm saying whoever, let us say, is watching the video also, do not get doubt. This is just for practice purpose we are using. But in real time, generally 5, 10 users we should have. Right? But for practice purpose or just for simple doing simple runs, from where you'll bring 10 users or from where you'll bring 20 users, right? That is more a tough task. You have to register them 20 times. So or in real world scenario, right? In real world scenario, the users are created. Either they will be created by yourself only. So how it is, how users are created, I'll tell you in user registration scenario. Or some team will help you in creating those users. Suppose you want 500 real user credential or 1000 real user credential or 10,000 real user credential. They will create. DBT team will be database team. They will run one query simple and you will get 1000 users automatically. No need to register manually, right? Or we can create a script and we can register the user if user registration scenario is there. So that is also there. So that we get users, okay, in real time. But here, uh, I can bring the users, but for now just understand. Okay, so do not do that. So 10 users ran, right, and they ran 2 loops. So you see 20. So that is the meaning of looping or iteration. Now, next thing is about this setting. This setting, same user as on each iteration, let it be as selected because on JMeter page also, if you right click, click on help, it will, I think I have shown this trick earlier also, it will take you to that particular element web page where you can read about that. Suppose anything I missed to explain or maybe which is not covered as part of this or something, many things are there which will not be covered. Anything, many extra stuff are there. So you want to read about that. So what you have to do is like you have to just right click on that element and click on help. So it will directly open that page for you. Suppose, right? So see, right. So now I right click on CSV and I click on help. So it has exactly opened that page for me. And here I can read about that element and all its attribute or parameter, right? You see what they does, right? So that beauty is there. A same thread group here, like what it does. So in the thread group here, if you see same user on each, generally we should keep it as select.
And delay thread creation, that should also be, yes, required. So these are as best practices. Here, let the check mark be, and here also delay thread creation until needed. That also they say as yes. So do not go in. There is no need to go in that much details of this.
No one worry about that. Okay. But if you want to read, it's written over there. So in future, when you get more idea, you can go and read. Just a small glimpse about this, I'll tell you. Like delay thread creation until needed means what? Suppose you are running 1000 or 10,000 users. So it says that uh, user creation of the user, because it has to create those virtual users, right? Which are running and which we see them. So they are called virtual users. So depending on the requirements, they should be created, not very fast. Okay. Not very fast, but how the requirement of those user will be there. Through that, it should be created. So that's why again, as I said, this all thing happens in background. So no need to worry about this. Even okay, best thing is just keep them selected. Okay, and no one bother about, like, even no one will ask you in interview or anything. So do not worry. Just keep them selected. Okay. Now, so this is not a major thing to discuss. Just keep them selected. Next is what is important that we will be discussing. Next is this. This stuff is used to run a test for a duration. Lifetime means duration. So I think you might have heard of 1 hour test, 2 hour test, 6 hour test. Right? So this is called duration based test. So how we will run it? So let us say I have 1000 users and I want to run for 1 hour, right? Look based test, suppose someone say that we have 1000 users or we have 100 users and we have to run for 5 loop or 10 loop, you can give it here and you can run. So that is simple. But suppose you have to run for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours, or 5 minutes, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes, 10 minutes. So time based, right? Time based. So how we will do that, right? So when we have to run a test for a time based manner, then we use this setting. By default, if you see this is blurred, means disabled. This both setting will be enabled when we click on this. Right? So remember, will be only used when you have to run a duration based test. Okay? A duration, right? Duration based test. Like this. Then that time only we'll be using this. So I'm clicking on this. So when I click on this, you see both got enabled. This is not an important thing, but I'll explain that. Do not worry. But not an important. This is important. Here we have to give that time in seconds. So suppose if you have to run a test for 100 user or 1000 users, that you can give here, and 1 hour. So 1 hour in seconds will be 3600, right? So we have to give here 3600. Suppose 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes, how many seconds? 60 seconds are 300 seconds are there, right? So here we can give 300 seconds, right? So like that. And important thing is, remember, we have to check mark it here. We have to put a check mark in here. Only this will work. Remember, okay. This is uh yeah, this is correlated, or means they are dependent setting. Okay. So suppose you want to run for 5 minutes test. So you have given 300 minutes, the 300 seconds here means 5 minutes. But if here infinity is not selected, and if you are running the test, then this will not take effect. It will only run for two loop or one loop. By default here it's one. Okay, one. So suppose you are not changing it, it's one. and you have selected this and you have given here suppose 5-minute test, but it will not run for 5 minutes. It will only run for one. So remember, that's what I'm saying. Whenever you want to run a duration based test, then this has to be selected. So when you select this, this will automatically be gone. That gone, and now this has changed. So I'll just show you 2-minute test. So 2 minute means 120 seconds, and 10 user or 5 user. So clear all this here also. Now I'll be running. So here you can see 5 user will be running, and they will run for 2 minutes. Okay. So here all 5 user are running. We'll see here. So you can see here. See this tells the number of users, and this tells the duration of test duration. Okay. So you can see here 5 by 5 it is showing. Means all 5 users are running, and in duration based test, what will happen? They will execute them this all from a start to end. All 5 users will execute from a start to end, right? Till 5 minutes or 2 minutes or 1 hour, right? So there is no limit of the loop. It can be any any number. You see repeatedly it's going on like so. It's still and that's why you see this number, so many numbers. Okay, because in when we run a loop based test, so that time it is sure. Suppose you are running 5 user and 2 loop. So all 5 user will run from first to last uh, one time, and then one more time, right? 2 times. So 5 into 2, 10, right? 10. So total execution of this here, you will see them 10, right? 10. But here, it's not like that. It's till 2 minutes. So in 2 minutes, how many times they will execute, we are not sure. Okay. So they will just, they are just executing them. See, it's running, this is running. You can see, I can click on here and you see it's just scrolling. Means these all are running. So it means that all those 5 users are running like that till 2 minutes. So this is what 5 duration based, and exactly at 2 minutes it has a stop, right? So this is how we run our duration based test. Now, on that somewhat idea we can make it uh, in suppose in 2 minutes how many time uh, they will loop it, a lump sum idea, an average idea we can calculate, but not exact. Okay. How to calculate, I'll show you. But before that, let us finish this. Let me tell you that. So to calculate that, just run for 5 user and 1 loop, right? And then just see how much time it is taking. So 5 user, 1 loop. So in 5 seconds, right? So 5 user, 1 loop took 5 seconds, right? 5 seconds. So it means that we have given 120. So 120 by 5, how much it is? 24. 24, right? 120 by 5 seconds. I'm talking about this. This is 120 second. If you are running 120 second, and one iteration took 5 seconds. So how much iteration it will be, right? So 24, right? Now 24 iteration, 24 iteration will be executed by 5 into 5, which is equal to 120. So minimum 120 it will be there. But when we ran minimum, it was 136, right? 130. So close to, right? So close to some idea we can get, not exact, right? Fine. Now, yeah, again I'm clicking here. Now this setting, a startup delay, it's not a mandatory setting or not a very important setting. What is the meaning of a startup delay? Startup delay means generally you can keep it blank. They said it's not very important. But suppose what it does, we'll understand. So if I'm giving 10 second here, right? So it means that for that 10 second, nothing will happen. So now what is the meaning of this, right? So see, I have cleared everything, right? Here also, I'm going to freshly run the test. So when I press this run, you will see that for 10 seconds, or let me increase little bit, 20. Hmm. So I've increased till 20. So you'll see that for first 20 seconds, nothing will, yeah, nothing will happen. So timer is starting. And here also you see no user, it's showing nothing. It means the test has started, but actually nothing is happening. So it's like waiting. It's a pause. Okay, it's like pause. And only when it will become 20, then you will see all 5 user will be generated and they will start. Now 5 user got generated. It's run. And now it will run for uh, whatever duration you have given. So that 20 plus this 120. So it will, this test will stop at 140 second. Okay. Because this first 20 will not be added. It will not be counted. This, it is extra. And it is just a wait time or, yeah, just pause time. Okay. So that's what I say. It's not a very important thing to use. Uh, but sometime it will be useful. When it will be useful, like suppose you want to run a test and then you want to go to tea break, right? So you can uh, suppose you are going to on a long break and then in uh, it can happen, right? Uh, uh, Suppose you want to take a break, in lunch break like that, right? So you want to have that test to be started after half an hour before. Suppose you are leaving now, and after half an hour you want to start the test. You can give that break time and press run, and you can go like that. Right? Sometime it will be useful. Right? Sometime it will be useful. Suppose at a particular time you want to start the test, right? But you will not be there in the system. So you can give the time, click on that, and you can go and you can leave. So this way, sometimes it is useful. This is also useful in creating a gap while running two tests, two different scenarios. That time also, suppose one scenario you are running user registration, and then you want to create a gap of 2 minutes, and then you want to run product booking one after another. So that time in product booking, you can give that gap, right, of 2 minutes. So these all, this is when this setting comes handy. Otherwise, there is not much important. Uh, uh, this is not that much. But remember, whatever time you give here, that time is not included in this time. This is extra time. This is the main time duration. This is the wait time, okay, and they are. This is not included. This will be extra. So this is all about duration loop. Now, even if you are running a loop-based test, then also it works. If you see, I've given 20 in one loop. I've not selected this. It means that this will not work. 5 user will run for one iteration. but I've given that delay, so it works. It works. So this works in both cases. Either you are running a duration-based test or a loop-based in both. Now comes the last thing, which is ramp up. Okay, ramp up. So uh, see, ramp up is bringing the users to the system slowly. Now, what is the meaning of this? Meaning of this is like suppose I have to run. Suppose I'm running a 10 user test, right? And so if you see, or so suppose I'm running a 10 user test. So you'll see, I've given a 10 second delay. Okay. So after 10 seconds, you'll see 10 users will suddenly be coming and they are suddenly running. Right. So actually, this is a robotic scenario. Right. This 10 users suddenly coming in the system and uh, like this 10 users suddenly got created by JMeter and then they executed the test. So actually, it is a robotic scenario. And to avoid this robotic scenario, to simulate the real world scenario, we use this ramp up stuff, right? Now, what is real world scenario? We have to understand. So in real world, suppose there is an application, any application, Flipkart or Amazon, correct? So on that application, not all user will be coming at same time, right? There will be some delay. Suppose let us say that on Amazon, average rate of user per hour is 1 lakh user. For an example, 1 lakh user per hour. Okay, per hour in 1 hour. So in 1 hour, 1 lakh users are there on the Amazon doing something. Okay, but all those 1 lakh users are not coming at same time, right? It's not. It never be possible that all 1 lakh users are waiting and they will come at same time. Means coming at same time means what? They all will in real time and talk. Same time means let us say at 8 p.m. all 1 lakh user will open the www.amazon.com and they will start browsing that. It's never happened. It's like some can come at 8 p.m., some can come at 8:15, some can be 8:30, some can be 8:45, some can be 9, right? So in overall idea is like in 1 hour there are 1 lakh, but all those 1 lakh are coming to Amazon at same time? No, right? No. So that is what users are coming in ramping. Ramping means steps, right? The steps. Maybe at 8 p.m., suppose 20,000 user came. Then after something, maybe at 8:15 or 8:20, another 10,000 users are coming. Then at 8:20, another 5,000 users are coming. Right at 8:30 again, 5,000 users. Like that, users will be coming. Right. So that is there. So you see, so in 1 hour, obviously 1 lakh will be there, but they are coming in a gap in bunch, right? Because no, this is world, right? No one, some in the users can come at any time. Who is there to see, right? So that is so to simulate that we use this ramp up concept. Because if you see, suppose I ran for 10 users, so all 10 users instantly they came. Same way, suppose I will be running for 1,000 users and I do not give ramp up. So 1,000 user will become suddenly. They will be created by JMeter and they will be doing this suddenly. So which is not realistic, right? Suddenly it will never be there. Or suppose 10,000 users. So 10,000 users will be created by JMeter and they will be doing it suddenly. Like suddenly coming to JPEG store and doing all this. It's not like that. Uh, so there should be some gap. There should be some steps, right? So that steps or gap thing is controlled by this ramp up stuff, and that is also called as arrival rate or concurrency rate. Okay, concurrency. Now, first I'll tell you how it works, and then we'll talk about what value to give. So for let me give uh, uh, so suppose I have given 10 users and 50-second ramp up. It means that 10 user and 50 seconds. So what is the ratio? One user per 5 seconds, right? Per 5 means uh, at every 5 seconds, one user will be coming. Okay. So to understand this, let us run a duration. So now you can see here where I'm going to run this test with this ratio 10 users per 50 seconds. This is 50. It means that one user per 5 seconds. So you will see that when I'll be running this test will start with 0, 0, right? 0, 0. Now in first second, one user will be there. And then after a gap of 5 seconds, another user will be coming. Then after a back gap of 5 seconds, another user will. So after every gap of 5 seconds, one user will be coming. And then you'll see in almost at 45 seconds to 50 seconds, all 10 users will be there. They will not be sudden. You'll see. Test as a start. Okay, there is a gap. Wait, remove this delay. It is creating confusion. The test as a start. So see, in first second, one user is there and he is doing the thing. Now after 5 seconds, you see another user thing, two users, right? Two users. Now after 5 seconds here, three users, right? Now again after 5 seconds, it will be four users. So after every 5 seconds, you just focus here. Now five users. You see. Now at 25, six users. Okay. Then 30, 31, seven user will be there. Okay. See, slowly. So users are coming here slowly. Not all 10 users are coming at exact time, right? So at 45, nine user, and then now at 50 second, now you'll see. Now at 50 second, all 10 users are. Do you see? Now total 10 users are. But those 10 users came in the system slowly at the rate of one user per 5 second basis, right? Do you want to see again? Just first 5 second, one user is here. Then another 5 second, second user. Then another after another 5 second, third user, right? Let's see. And here also after every 5 seconds, you'll see one user come. So what is the meaning of suppose it's showing 5/10 currently? This means total number of users, and this means active user, and this means total number of users. So now you see, so you'll see in total 50 second, all 15 users will be there in the system. You see? Okay. So this is called controlling the users coming in the system in steps, and that is what a ramp up is. Now, understand that ramp up value is generally not in uh, it should be not, it is not greater than the users. Okay, like currently just for our understanding, I've told like 10 user and 50 is ramp up, so means every 5 seconds one user is coming, right? But generally it's reverse, means users are more, ramp up time is less. Okay, so it can be like suppose 10 users or 50 users, ramp up time is 10 seconds. So what it is meaning of this means? Just we have to calculate the ratio 50 user by 10 second means what? 5 user per second. Means in 1 second, 5 user will be coming. Then in another second, 5 user. Then in another second, 5 user. Then in another second, 5 user. So like that in total 10 seconds, 50 users will be there. So you see, they are right. So what we are understanding here is they are not coming all at a time, right? All 50 are not coming in 1 second. They are coming in some gap, right? At a gap of 1 second. 5 user in gap of 1 second. Correct. Or previously the reverse, like one user was coming in every 5 seconds. So at this gap was so that is realistic scenario. Correct. So to simulate the realistic scenario, that is what we use the ramp up. Otherwise, if I do not use this ramp up, suppose by default is 1 second. So it means what you see in 1 second only all 50 users will be there. See how fast. You see how fast. Okay, I just stopped it because I do not want to do that kind of testing on that application because this application is public application. So we should not put pressure on them. But just again, I'll clear this. Just focus here. How fast it will happen. Just focus. How fast and immediately put. So that is not realistic, right? So that is where we control this coming of the user in steps. Steps. Now, what value we should give here? That is a question. Okay. So see, there are three kind of scenarios. First scenario is you will be given the value. I mean, some senior or the team member or the development teams, right? They can tell us the number that hey, the ramp up will be this, okay? Or they will, yeah, I'll come to that. So first scenario is directly giving the value that suppose you are running for 1,000 users, the ramp up will be 1 minute. 1 minute means 60 seconds, right? So that very simple. It's very simple. Directly you are given the value. Very simple. Or 5 minutes, whatever. So that is a direct given value. So suppose that's what. Suppose you are running for 1,000 euros, you'll give 1,000, and 1 minute is ramp up. So here you'll give put 60, right? So that is first scenario where the value will be given and it become very simple. Second scenario is also it's simple, but we have to do some calculation. Second scenario is they will give the arrival rate or concurrency rate. Okay. So when this second scenario happens, see first scenario when it happens. First scenario when it happens whenever you are working on a team and uh, that team knows suppose your senior will be there or you are working on an existing project means already that project is going on, already performance testing is going on, already some people are there and you have newly joined. So that time those value will be there and they can give you this is the ramp up. Yeah, that way you have to run. Okay. So it becomes simple, right? Or the development team or the main manager or the stakeholder. Stakeholder then means the application owner or the project owner. They knows and they will tell you. Okay. So that only happens if they have the idea of ramp up. Many people do not have this idea. So when many people do not have this idea, that is the case where you have to get the idea. So that is where the second scenario comes. So second scenario is where no one knows. Means you are the only person who will be working on that project, and the other people in the team, maybe the development team or the owner of the project, right? Means the main. Those are called team lead or technical leads, right? Tech lead. They are also, or they are also called as stakeholders who are responsible for those applications. So they also do not know what is RAM. So if they do not know, you cannot ask them. Right? Then we have to probe them. Probing starts. So we have to ask the query from them that, hey, uh, uh, if you'll ask me, hey, what should I put the ramp? So they do not have idea what is ramp up, so they will not tell you. So that time you have to ask the probing. So probing, how we will ask them, right? So you will ask them with these words like, what is the concurrency rate, or what is the arrival rate? So you can ask them, uh, the team members or the developer or the technical lead or the main stakeholders that, hey, on your application per hour basis in 1 hour, how much user you are expecting that are there, okay, or they comes. That is why it's called arrival, right? Arrival, or it is also called as concurrency. Concurrency means they are there. So you can ask the two question like, in 1 hour, at what rate you think the users are coming. Okay. So it will tell the arrival rate. If they do not know that, then you can ask, change the question that, hey, in 1 hour, what is an average number of users that are there on the system? Okay. So that is concurrency rate. Concurrency means concurrent. How many total users are concurrently there in the system, average in 1 hour. So that value they will give. Now, problem in this is sometimes they will also not know that what is concurrency. Then how will we take? So there many problem happens. Either you can assume, you can ask them that, suppose this is a very new application and no one knows that how much user will come. So that time you can ask them that what is your estimate? Because what happen, anyone who designs the application before launching that in market, then there is a team, marketing team who does the R&D. That if I'm launching this application, how much user are going to use it in first 1 year, right? Or first 1 month, correct? So that time, so that idea they have. So you can take that idea. Yeah. Okay. We are almost finished. Right. So right, that if the application is new, so that time you can ask their marketing team must have done some R&D. That suppose this application will be launched, so how much uh, people will be using, right? So that value you can take, right? So by this way, you can take them the arrival rate or concurrency rate, or if they also do not know arrival rate or concurrency rate, then you can ask them to take some input from marketing team that, suppose this application will be launched. So in first 1 month, or first 1 day, how much user they are expecting, right? So based on that, we can calculate the ramp up. Now, how to calculate the ramp up, right? So suppose you get a value that there will be 1,000 users per hour. Okay, understand? There will be 1,000 users in 1 hour. That is concurrency rate or arrival rate, or R&D team has given this value. So 1,000 users in 1 hour means 3,600 seconds. So what is the per second, or let me increase this. Suppose 10,000 users are there in 1 hour. Okay. So in 1 second, how much it is, right? So that time we have to do the maths. Understand this calculation, because many time people get confused what I'm saying. 1,000 divided by 3,006. So per hour, almost 2.78 users, not per hour, in per second, in 1 second, they will be coming, right? In 1 second at this rate. Concurrency rate, they have given that 10,000 users, right? 10K users per hour. So you have to do the maths, right? 10,000 by 3,600. So we have to bring the ratio in seconds. So in 1 second, 2.78 users will be there in the system, right? Now using this, we can do the ramp. So suppose using this ratio, I have to decide the ramp up for 100 users. Okay, 100 users. If I have to run this test for 100 users using this ratio, so what will be the amp up, right? So that time we have to divide 1000 by this value, and that value we will give here, right? So we have to divide 100 by this value, and the output we have to give it here. So like 100 divided by 3.7, which is 35 or 36. So 36 will be ramp up. Okay, 36. Suppose I am running a test for 1000 users, 1000, 1K. So what will be the ramp up, right? Using this ratio. So 1000 divided by 2.78. So 1000 divided by 2.78. So it's almost 360 seconds. We have 360 seconds, right? So 1000 user, 360-second ramp up as per this ratio. Right? So this is how you have to calculate. Now, if you divide this, this will be coming like this one. Like suppose 1000 divided by 360. This is 2.78. This value is coming, right? Okay, reverse uh, verification. So this is the main important thing. Second thing, where you have to get the this ramp up number by probing them and then doing some calculation, right? And that is an important scenario because this will always happen because this ramp up stuff generally no one knows, right? Now the third thing, last thing, like suppose they also do not know anything, you are not getting any idea from, then what you will give the ramp up? So that time you have to give from your side. So you can start running with 10 users and 1 second, and you have to see. It becomes little bit difficult, but generally we have to see using throughput and response time. Uh, we see that what ramp up we should give. Okay. So if you see, mm, like suppose I ran for 10 users, right, and 1 second. So system is showing 2 users per second, right? If you throughput means system is able to handle 2 users per second users, and there is no problem in that, right? And a response time for them is less than 1 second, right? Less than 1 second. Okay. So so we can keep it till 10 users 1 second, fine. Slowly you can increase 20 user and then 1 second. And then if you see this is decreasing and this is increasing, that time you can increase the ramp up. Okay. So that is the idea, third thing, which is little bit technical, which comes with experience. Um, so these are all the three cases of giving the ramp up. Right? Now, in the same way, we have ramp down. Okay, ramp down. Last thing, ramp down. I've discussed everything. Right? Only ramp down is left. Ramp. Ramp down means after the test is finished, then the user will be exiting from the system, right? Exiting, stopping the test. So using what rate, right? They should execute. Generally, ramp down concept is not given in JMeter. So after the test is finished, all users are suddenly they got a stop. That is the default behavior. So ramp down concept is not there here, but ramp down term is there. Uh, this is also there. and we will see that in future classes also. Okay. So this is all about users, ramp up, ramp down, all these things. Correct. So that is what uh, let us do the parameterization for them quickly, and then we will be done for today's session. So ramp up, delay, duration. By default, their value is from 1, delay, we can keep 0. Duration, we can put initially. Now this all value. So instead of this hard coded value, we will put this variable names. Now, why we do that, right? That also you will understand in future sessions. But for now, generally it is done like this, so that we can control the how the value for this stuff from one place. Once a variable name is created, always copy paste. Do not type it, because we are humans and we can do the mistake. Right. So that is the thing. Now, after giving all this, after parameterizing all this stuff, just run and verify whether everything is working fine or not. So I'll just run for 2 users, and I'll check that everything is working fine or not. Everything is working fine. There is no problem. Okay. So that is for today till here, 4.19. I thought we should generally we should have finished this, right? But not an issue. So one more day, we'll be finishing this. So that is all. So we have covered till here, and then tomorrow we'll talk about pacing and other things, and this download of embedded resources concept. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.